Morning folks, you're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy and this is Delta Airlines Flight 57 going to Salt Lake City. An Airbus A330neo, 2 years old, first flight January 2022. It is an overcast day with wind blowing from the north. What wind there is, I should say. And as you can see, relatively low ceiling, airplanes vanishing into the clouds rather soon. Runway configuration is interesting. This is the runway used for departures, but 09 is also being used for departures. 36 center is currently being used as only runway for arrivals. And we'll have to wait a little bit before we'll see the next airplane. It is quiet over here. The water is like a mirror. Windsock also doesn't show a lot of movement. And there's one person at least in the Tower of Polderbaan. A very good morning to everybody who has joined us already. Goedemorgen Marja, Jackie, Halil, tuning in from Istanbul. Martinair, goedemorgen. Hey there John, morning. Well, as you can see, the weather in Amsterdam is calm, chilly and grey, I would say. Rick, goedemorgen kerel. Who else is in the chat already? Let's see. Jack, so we have Jack and Jackie. Sander, goedemorgen. Steve J, good morning. Evelyn, goedemorgen. Johan, goedemorgen. Buenos dias. Evan, how's the muscle soreness? Good to see you're still alive and with us, alive and kicking. Han, goedemorgen. Lois, good morning. Richard from ever sunny Rotterdam Zuid. Send some sunshine over to Schiphol, Richard. We can use it over here. It's a dull and grey day so far here today. Although it was said that maybe later in the day we would get some sunshine. I have to see it to believe it. Maxine, goedemorgen. Hello there, good morning, goedemorgen. Namish, good morning. Leo, goedemorgen. Mies, goedemorgen. So, have a look at the weather. This is the latest METAR from a couple of minutes ago. What was it? 8 minutes ago, maybe a bit more. In the meantime, what wind there is blowing mostly from the north, a bit varying between northwest, northeast. A handful of knots, 6 knots, 2 above 4. We do have a ceiling still. Maybe it will clear, but the ceiling at the moment is 1,000 feet. Below the ceiling we have 10 plus kilometers of visibility. Few clouds at 900 feet. The air temperature is 8 degrees Celsius. 8 times 2 equals 16. 16 plus 30 equals roughly 46 degrees Fahrenheit. And we have relatively high pressure, 1025 hectopascals. And it is becoming broken clouds at 800 feet. Runway usage, yeah, there you go. I would have thought they would use all north-south runways, but they've opted to, for at least for the time being, also use runway 09. Not sure for how long. If the wind starts picking up and you will have more northerly wind, I expect that they will also start using all 3 north-south oriented runways. And Evan says slight right knee strain, but other than that the legs are fine, all things considered. Left. Well, happy to hear that, mate. And your time was 6 hours and 20 minutes or so, I think I read the other day. Holy cow, imagine running for almost a full working day. And then to think that those professional marathon runners do it 3 times as fast. Insane. In the meantime, traffic is coming this way. Our first airplane will depart from the runway threshold. It is KLM flight 987, arriving from the main platform area. Going to go to London City. So used to arriving traffic. Let's see, Embraer 190. How old is this one? 14 years. First flight February 2010. Alan, good morning, mate. Marina, good morning. Egbert, good morning. Made in Australia, good morning. Richard Driesen, goedemorgen. More Richards in the chat. Hey, why is it holding short? Oh, bird controller might have to do with it. And a nice colorful assortment of vehicles, red and yellow. Yes. Shots fired. In the background, German Airways Embraer 190. Just now. Right. Bird controller seems to have left the runway. Yes, and the Embraer 190 is continuing to the threshold. Right, and in the meantime behind us the firefighters are on their round. They will approach on this side from behind, with the camera oriented like so. Johan says, yesterday surprised with a lovely cap from AMS Live. Highly recommended. Thank you so much for your support there, Johan. I hope you will like the cap. I'm still wearing mine. Each time I go out streaming, have the microphone for the voiceover attached on the underside of the cap so that it stays dry and at a fixed distance of my mouth. Arnold, good morning. Austrian Wolf, good morning. Leopoldine, good morning. Vinny, goedemorgen, good morning. Does look like my chat window isn't right, there it is. The latest message, is it synchronized with the laptop? Does look like it is synchronized. Didn't see the last message, the most recent messages. They were a bit lower than the bottom end of my screen just now. Should be good now. Right, German Airways flying for KLM, going to Leeds, KLM flight 1545. Another Embraer 190. There is the ceiling. Poof, gone it is. And here comes the cavalry. No, firefighters. And Evelyn, you are asking me questions that I don't know the answer to yet. I don't know what the weather is going to be like. I don't know what the wind is going to be like. So it's always hard for me to predict beforehand if I'm going out on a certain day, what traffic I will stream. Wish I could tell you, but probably only Saturday evening I will know with reasonable certainty. And even then, if it is unclear when it is going to rain, if it is going to rain, I might have to decide on Sunday morning. So wish I could tell you something more about it, but I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go out tomorrow, let alone Sunday. Those tires are definitely noisy. Little demonstration. Clearly there are people at the parking place of the Spottersplatz. They are honking. Alrighty. Now in the meantime, we have KLM flight 1753 coming this way, or at least to the threshold. Another Embraer 175 going to Bremen. This airplane is 7 years old, first flight September 2016. There's another airplane making its way over here, another Embraer 175 going to Cardiff. Yeah, and it's a small world over here, with the airplanes vanishing into the clouds rather soon. The duckies are here. And one of the coots at least. Not many people at the Spottersplatz parking place yet. KLM 1059 in the meantime spooling up, going to Cardiff, Embraer 175. Meantime, Aparna, goedemorgen, good morning. Georgios, good morning. Marvin, good morning. Basil, good morning. Jeroen, goedemorgen. Roderick, good morning. All other viewers who might have joined in the meantime, good morning. It's an easy start of the day today. Runway 09 also being used for departures at the moment. And the center runway is used for arrivals. TUI Dreamliner approaching the center runway just now. And hey, Saudia cargo. Oh, that is going to land. Might catch a glimpse of it later. Will land probably on this runway unless they are going to switch up runway configuration. Because center right now is the only runway being used for arrivals. This is TUI flight 365 returning from Bonaire. And in the meantime, the firefighters returning to base. Is that how much battery it has left? Right. Meanwhile, I saw that Made in Australia just donated the super chat. Sound is great this morning. Good wind direction. Well, there hardly is any wind. Thank you so much for your super chat, mate. I think it has to do with the absence of wind that the sound is really excellent. It is as calm as, well, something very calm. Chimney smoke rises nearly vertically. Just a mild breeze. According to the meter, 6 knots. Well, it doesn't feel like it. And Evan asks about Suriname schedule. Well, to be frank, I haven't checked. Not sure if it is arriving to Amsterdam today. We can have a look at Flight Radar, see what is expected in terms of heavies. Let me fire up Flight Radar. Let's have a look, shall we? Haven't checked because I knew that today it was going to be outbound traffic. So okay, 3747s are arriving. 4, 5, 6. Holy cow. A380. Don't see the SLM underway, so at least in today's show we won't be seeing it. That's something I can tell with certainty now. Don't know if it is going to arrive later today. One of the last couple of times this week before it will be retired. Now, let's see. So slowly but surely there is more traffic coming this way. Also a Dreamliner to Bogota is coming this way. And this is KLM flight 1073 going to Manchester, 737-800. Hey there, stranger. Goedemorgen, good morning. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. Question is, will it go to the threshold or will it take off right in front of us? We'll soon have our answer. And it looks like threshold. Yeah. Yeah, also Dreamliner has just arrived on center. Let's see what is cooking. Where is... Ah, the next airplane is that 747 from Saudia Cargo. Pity that there is such a low ceiling today. Do have it. So arriving for runway 36 center. This is Saudia Cargo, flight 933, arriving from Jeddah. 5 hours and 52 minutes underway. 29 years old, first flight December 1994. That mofo already quite low. Alrighty, let's see. Air Mexico Flight 25 coming into center up next. Might get loud. Wonder if we are going to hear it. Meanwhile, there is also traffic coming this way. Embraer 190 to Stavanger up first. There is a 787-10 to Bogota coming this way. That has just passed the threshold of center. Where was it? Oh no, wait, that was from the other vantage point where I pinpointed where the exact northern threshold was. Let's see. Air Mexico is now touching down. Not hearing anything yet. Right, let's see what else is coming. Narrow bodies for the time being. Is there so much taking off from 09 then? Also not necessarily. Just a bit quiet this morning still. There's of course an exodus later today of airplanes taking off to the United States, Canada, South America. And Vic asks about Jean-Yves. He was in the chat a couple of times not too long ago. He's definitely around still every now and then. In fact, he just returned for a couple of times lately, a couple of weeks ago, after an absence of, I think, several months. So he's definitely still around, and has been around rather recently. Eversteria is asking about the ducks. Well, they were here before. If I now turn the camera to the place where they were just now, they seem to have gone, or they have been converted into coots. That could also be the case. Maybe they morphed into coots. They were there, but now they aren't. Or have they migrated further to the north? I think I spoke too soon. They have migrated further north. And is that a grebe? I'm pointing a camera towards you, mate. Time to dive under. So yeah, they are there, but as you guys can see, I have to go full telescope mode to show you. They're not in the immediate vicinity, sadly. Now, more queens coming into center. Arrival from Paris, Charles de Gaulle, Cathay Pacific Cargo 747-400. "15 years old, first flight, February 2009. KLM flight 1199 is pulling up in the foreground, going to Stavanger. Good morning, Monique, and Donna, and Mario, and Kenny. Manuel says you need to put an airport map on the screen. Practice makes perfect. This is KLM flight 749 going to Bogota in Colombia, 787-10 Dreamliner, 4 years old, first flight October 2019. And the 737 going to Helsinki will also be taking off from the runway threshold. probably heard Chris and Curtis over here. I believe one of their cousins did a swim by. And there was also a bird flying directly away from me. It was nice to see. Nice to see the pattern in the feathers. This is KLM Flight 1167, 737-800 going to Helsinki, Finland. 5-year-old airplane, first flight March 2019. Let me see if I can get the XLR cable of my microphone a little bit more out of the way. More tight, there we go. Kept bumping into it each time I reached for the zoom rocker. This should be better. Well. Okay, and there it goes into the clouds. It seems, I get the impression, let's check the meter when we have time for it. It seems that things are clearing up a little bit. At least I got the impression that the ceiling now is a little bit higher than it was before. Several airplanes are on the way. First duo is an Airbus A320 going to London Luton, and what's the other one? An Embraer 190 going to Hamburg. Both going to the runway threshold. A big thank you to Yip, who just became AMS Live's latest member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, Yip. Thank you for your support, and be sure to use those custom emojis that now are at your disposal. Spam us to death with them. That goes for all the members, of course. More queens. Arriving from Miami, Cargolux B744 HAFER. 7.5 hours on the way, relatively soon. Quick. 16 years old. First flight February 2008. Meanwhile, over here, EasyJet flight 22512 going to London Luton. First flight February 2012. Good morning, Lucia. Doing well indeed. Thank you for asking. I hope that also goes for you. Real Greens, goedemorgen, good morning. Thank you for your kind words. I will do my utmost best to keep up the good work. Good morning, Lufthansa 747 fan. Marion with an N, good morning. Martijn, also with an N, good morning. Jimmy, goedemorgen. Erwin, goedemorgen. Aaron asks about the runway. This is Polderbaan, 36 left today. KLM flight 1779, going to Hamburg. Still climbing. Earlier airplanes would have been in the clouds already, so it does look like the ceiling is getting a little bit higher. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Rasta plane. Nice. Air Baltic in the Lithuanian flag livery going to Riga. Flight 618, Bombardier C-Series 300, these days dubbed 8220s. 5 years old, first flight, August 2018. And that's the whale sounds that you also hear from the E2 Embraers. Has to do with those geared turbofan engines. Ja man. And Marco is asking where I hit the sun. Well, does it even exist? I've heard rumors about it, but don't remember ever having seen it in real life, so I'm not sure if you're talking about something that truly exists, Marco. Aer Lingus going to NA. Well, it's either Dublin or Cork. Hey there, Roadhog. Goedemorgen, kerel. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. Today, departures from Polderbaan used as 36 left. What wind there is blowing, there is hardly any, but is coming from the north. This one is going to go to LAX, KLM flight 601, 787-10 Dreamliner. Brand new, will turn 1 in May this year. Controllers coming this way. Plenty of duckies over there. The goods over there. Which is still a considerable distance away from where I'm standing right now. A couple of airplanes have queued up over here. In the meantime, we have 3 with one of them lined up. The lined up airplane is obviously from EasyJet going to Manchester. Flight 22162. 11 years old, first flight June 2012. Adi Gerrit, goedemorgen. Steve Creed at EHP, good morning. Janus, good morning. Allison, good morning. HHH, good morning. Everybody else who has joined us in the meantime, good morning to you too. Now, our latest member, Isa. Thank you so much for your support, Isa. Thank you for choosing AMS Live. I hope you will like it in the lounge. Be sure to use the custom emojis whenever you see fit, such as the EasyJet emoji or the bird controller, which will pass us by from the left in a moment. Back to the top end of optical zoom and back to being fully zoomed out. Well, it is just narrow bodies for the time being. The heavies exodus will commence later in the morning, as always is the case. These are the warm-ups, and this warm-up is going to Aberdeen. It's a 737-700 KLM flight 1443. 12 years old, first flight May 2011. Good morning to Tay and to Walter and to Manly Travels. Not sure if I already said hi to Tina, but good morning, Tina. Hey Daniel, Morgan, good to see you again, mate. Alrighty, this little tidbit is KLM flight 1485, going to go to Humberside in a few moments. KLM flight 1485, Embraer 190, PHEZF, 14 years old, first flight July 2009. And Rick is informing us that there are some heavies on the way. Rick, did you already get an answer to the question you texted me about the other day? I thought you already posted it in the chat about the Dreamliner. I'm curious. KLM 7879 or so, Dreamliner it was, going to Paris. Don't even recall the name of the airport, but it was right in the middle of nowhere. For reasons unknown. Good morning to Joel as well. Dylan, good morning. Now, there's also a security camera that is sometimes filming over here, or at least that is streaming from Schiphol. Some of you guys may wonder where it is positioned. And the answer is right there. I think that's the live vision camera. This is KLM flight 1533 and Embraer 175 going to Teesside or Darlington. Daniel, I haven't spoken with Bart in a while, no. Let's see, up next, Embraer 175 going to Linköping. KLM flight 1179. That is 7 years old. Alrighty. Now, good news. It's time for heavies. Going to Atlanta, Georgia. Airbus A330-300, KLM flight 623. Doing a turn and burn. Now, this A330 is 11 years old. First flight was in January 2013. Lots of brake dust. The main gear wheels are stuck to a hold before being fully retracted. That it is now entering the clouds, so that is still relatively low. Let's see. Shamrock up next. I think we will have a little gap after that to have another look at the METAR. Update of the weather. Maybe also have a look at the runway usage. Still quiet over here, so I still think there are 2 runways being used for departures at the moment. 09 is not being used, or at least was being used earlier in the morning, around the time I started up. Hey Afrodite, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. Alrighty, Aer Lingus going to Dublin, so the other one that said NA earlier must have gone to Cork then. Shamrock flight 603, A320, 18 years old. Let's go. Alles goed weer hoor, Aphrodite. Thank you so much for asking. Alrighty. Traffic is coming this way. Let's have a look at the weather, shall we? Well, still Queens inbound. If they are going to land on runway center, we might actually see them. So we're standing right here at the very beginning in line with the taxiway from the main platform area to the Polderbaan over here, and still runway 09 is also being used for departures, which is why it is a bit quiet still over here, at least until the exodus to the west will begin. And let's see, an update of the METAR. So yeah, well, 100 foot higher ceiling than we had before. Wind has turned a little bit more to the northwest. Larger variation, also even a little bit southwestish, west-southwest, but wind speed still nothing to write home about, 5 knots, 204, few clouds at 900 feet, not much has changed. The air temperature still 8 degrees Celsius, 8 times 2 equals 16, 16 plus 30 equals roughly 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me paste that METAR into the ticker. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what it all means, let me take you through it. Let me do that later, because the first of 2 airplanes has arrived at the runway threshold. Focus on that first. BA City Flyer going to London City, flight 8496, Embraer 190. 12-year-old airplane. First flight January 2012. And KLM flight 1343 will take off to Billund next. PHEZR, 13 years old. Alrighty, bigger planes are on the move over here. Let's see, what are they? They are 7879 far left to Cancun, 777-200 going to Houston, Houston. Also United Flight 21. Right behind it, also going to Houston. Or at least on flight radar right behind it, but I think it is over there. So this plane is going to Houston, the United, and this KLM as well. If you look on flight radar, quite a few heavies are now coming this way. A330 Delta Airlines going to Detroit. Little 737 in between, sandwich. Then the Dreamliner to San Francisco. Yeah, things are starting to roll now. Hey there, Michael. Good morning. Tuning in from Kansas. Welcome back. Hope all is well. Now, I see that the weather just passed by the ticker, so let me reload the ticker again and take you through it. So if you now look in the ticker, you will see the weather report, the METAR, EHAM or AMS, both international abbreviations for Schiphol Airport. Then it starts with the date and time, the 21st, that is today, 8:55 Zulu time, that is 9:55 Central European time, which you can see in the far left corner, bottom left I should say. Then the wind, 5 knots from 310 degrees, and the wind direction is variable between 230 degrees and 020 degrees. 9999 means visibility of 10 kilometers or more. Few clouds at 900 feet, broken clouds at 1100 feet. The air temperature / the dew point, and then the air pressure 1025 hectopascals, and then there are temporary periods where the clouds are broken at 900 feet. And those periods don't last longer than 30 minutes. Alrighty, back to the camera then. Quite a few airplanes on the move. It's going to get busy. Does that mean then, back to the laptop, does that mean then that runway usage has changed? Well, it doesn't say so just yet, but I think it might will. I think it might have changed. Where's this all westbound traffic? Either way, let's just enjoy the traffic. Up next, KLM flight 689 going to Cancun, Mexico, 7879 Dreamliner. This airplane is 6 years old. The first flight was in March 2018. Right. Next up, KLM flight 661, 777-200, going to Houston, Texas, 19 years old, first flight November 2004. A little bit of wing fluff. That's a first. Don't recall having seen that on other airplanes before this morning. Howdy Rick, goedemorgen, good morning. And all other viewers who have joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. Prepare for a light snack, an A320neo going to go to London Heathrow, BA flight 429. And then it is going to be back to the heavies. This Neo is already 5 years old. First flight was in April 2018, BA flight 429 going to London Heathrow. Is there a hold up? Not seeing any bird control vehicles behind me. Lights are on, okay. She will go. Getting watched. Oh, there's a fire. A fire at the sea parks. Where's that practice fire? That must be the practice fire. That's the mock-up airplane that they have set to fire, I think. For firefighters to practice. In the meantime, we were being watched by a Sky Team 737. 900 going to Oslo. KLM B78X. Practicing. Delta Airlines flight 133 up next, going to Detroit, Michigan. A330-300. Vortices, so nice to see just before it enters the cloud. Yeah, this is where the wind is now blowing from. Doesn't look like much improvement is going to come pretty soon. Wind speed does seem to have picked up a little bit. Chimney smoke vacating more horizontally than it did before. Right, it is the KLM 100-year special livery. KLM flight 605 going to San Francisco, 787-10 Dreamliner. This airplane is 4 years old. The first flight was in June 2019. And it is time for another light snack, another appetizer in between the main courses. KLM flight 1009 going to London Heathrow. Lined up behind me, 737-800. This airplane is 23 years old already, first flight August 2000. And I have some good news for Michael. Also going to Houston, Texas is United Airlines Flight 21, which is this airplane, 777-200 ER, 25 years old. I'm expecting a low growl from the engines. First flight November 1998, let's look and listen. Getting stared at. Interesting to see that the fuselage is leaning forward a little bit, downward I should say, but it does seem that cockpit is upright, so weird design quirk by the looks of it. Doesn't look like the cockpit was also facing downward, it looked like it was facing horizontally. Right, well, this is a KLM flight 1127 going to Copenhagen, 737-900. The lights are not yet on and the bird controller is behind me but not on the runway. Oh, and now it is. Spoke too soon. Let's continue to stare down with the CRJ. SAS, flight 552, also going to go to Copenhagen just as the 737 from KLM that just took off. Mitsubishi CRJ 900 long range, 6 years old, first flight November 2017. Yeah, the reflections are preventing us from looking into the cockpit from that point of view. It is. Seems that some of the coots have morphed back into ducks and are swimming over there. What is that? Russell or one of his cousins. Meanwhile, more airplanes are coming this way. An A330 Neo, no, 300. The rest is narrow bodies. And the first next airplane to take off from the runway threshold, a standard livery Air Baltic. Bombardier C Series A220 300 going to Tallinn. The airplane is 2 years old, the first flight November 2021. Alrighty. Isha, I don't know yet until what time I am going to stick around. Hey there Paul, good morning, good to see you again mate, hope all is well. And Aphrodite, thank you for the update. So Paul about now the only runway being used for departures. Okay, let's have a quick look, what has it become then? Refresh. Okay, so we are now in a north-south runway configuration. I will update that if I get the time. As you guys can see, there is a queue forming. Delta A330 up next, flight 143, going to Seattle, Washington. 16 years old, first flight July 2007. Die Adrie, goedemorgen. No other viewers who might have joined us in the meantime. You're watching MS Live, my name is Boy. Departures from Polderbaan, runway 36 left. Until recently, one of two runways being used for arrivals now, for departures, but now the only one, which I was trying to also put in the ticker. Next up is going to be LOT Flight 266, Embraer 175, destination Warsaw. Alright, that should be updated. Hey there, Tony. Morning. Hope all's well, mate. Now, looking around me, is there any bird controller on the runway? But there isn't, and probably just the wake turbulence that needed to dissipate. LOT Flight 266 going to Warsaw, 12 years old. Our next airplane will be going to Firenze or Florence in Italy. KLM Flight 1641, which is number 190. The ceiling does seem to rise a little bit. It was 1,000 foot at the beginning of the stream, 1,100 feet later. Also a bit more brightness in the part of the sky where the wind is blowing from. It was said that it was going to open up gradually as the day progressed. All morning, wind has not been very substantial. It is very calm. The water is nearly without ripples. What wind is blowing from the northwest. These airplanes are taking off to the north, which means that there's a slight crosswind from the left, from left to right, but it's very minute. Wind visualized on the scale of chimney smoke. It was rising vertically from the chimneys earlier in the morning, but now just a little bit of movement, nothing substantial. In the meantime, it's getting busy over here. We're watched once again. And we have a queue over here. Delta. KLM. And line up. Hans' favorite airplane. Vueling. The yellow dot. The icing on the cake. The cherry on the cake. Going to Bilbao, this one. Flight 8355. A320. 9 years old, first flight November 2014. The line cutter going to cut in line? I think it might. I think it is. Yeah, it is before the Heavy lining up on the runway threshold. Hey there, Jin. Good morning, mate. Hope all is well. Good to see you. A320neo SAS outbound Oslo. Flight 822. Turn and burn. The airplane 3 years old. First flight December 2020. The next airplane lined up behind me already on the runway threshold is KLM Flight 591 777-200 going to go to Johannesburg, South Africa. See that Lance is also back in the chat. Good morning, mate. Hope all is well. Right, there it goes. 777-200 from 2004. Hey, Captain Eddie Boss also there. Good evening, mate. And nephew Andian, good evening. Nah, Don has to go back into a 10 a.m. meeting. Neo time. Steve J, good morning. Jeffrey, goedemorgen. Tuning in from Kerkrade, Limburg. Oh, and by the way, this was Delta Airlines Flight 161 going to go to Minneapolis, Minnesota. A330neo, 4-year-old airplane, first flight March 2020. The next heavy is going to go to Cape Town. Captain, Cape Town. KLM Flight 597, which is going to be a 777-300 already on its way to the runway threshold. And the question is, yeah, 737 is following suit. Okay, check. Now the Dreamliner also making its way over here. Let's see what else is coming. Dreamliners, triples, A330s. Nice. The heavy exodus seems to have begun. Starting off with KLM Flight 597 going to go to Cape Town, South Africa. 7-year-old airplane. First flight February 2017. Alrighty. Let's see. Lined up. Behind me is KLM flight 1109 going to go to Stockholm. 737-800. 15 years old. First flight May 2008. And the next airplane after this one is going to be KLM flight 705, which is a Dreamliner with destination Rio de Janeiro. Right, KLM flight 705 has already lined up right behind me. 7879 Dreamliner, destination Rio de Janeiro. The BHH, 7 years old, first flight August 2016. And United Flight 947 will be next after this airplane, a 7878 Dreamliner, which has Washington DC as destination. First up, KLM flight 705. Issues on the Dreamliner. Big picture wise, this is what it looks like. All around it is still overcast. This is looking to the west, northwest, the north, northeast, east, southeast, south and southwest. The next airplane to depart, as I said before, Dreamliner going to Washington. The smallest of the bunch, the 7878 Dreamliner. And this airplane is already 11 years old. First flight of this airplane was in December 2012. And Rob, you're welcome. Thank you so much for your kind words. Yeah, dude, where have you been, Paul? You missed the Rasta special livery. Way to tell him, Leslie. And Lisa, also, if you are wondering if you missed something, you missed the Rasta Air Baltic special livery taking off earlier. Right, let's see, there's a vehicle coming this way. I don't think it's a bird control vehicle, but an authority vehicle or something. What is that? Oh, Opel, Vauxhall. Netherlands Opel. LVNL, represented. Will it be going to the tower then? No. Did it leave from the tower? So many questions. Where's it going to go to? Probably around the runway then, just like the firefighters did. Where's it going to go next to then? That radar tower or something? Also sometimes see bird control vehicles parked outside of this radar tower or something. Does look like there's also little office building adjacent to it. Right, where is that? LVNL vehicle already going around the threshold. Hey! Oh, evasive maneuvers. Is that a horse stable, by the way, in the background? Well, if it is, I don't see any horses, so probably isn't. Doesn't have to fix something in that box. Well, that doesn't improve the footage. What happens behind the box we cannot see with power zoom, with more zoom. Well, in the meantime, another Dreamliner is coming this way. United Flight 908 going to Chicago, is that? Yeah, Chicago. Regular 737 from TUI behind it going to Fuerteventura. Lance says, hey boy, maybe the car is looking for loose horses let out by someone not closing the gate due to being entirely focused upon themselves. Yeah, Julie, call the police, call the police. What an idiot. Jeopardizing the lives of animals, all because you so necessarily need to film yourself. That is irresponsible. Right, so as expected, the Dreamliner will be taking off from the runway threshold. The question is, what will this... Ah, we have our answer. It's turning in. It is turning in. Headshot! Boom. Well, this is pixelated because of digital zoom. This is top end of optical zoom. A little bit of digital zoom won't hurt. So the 737-800 to Fuerteventura. Oh, and will we be getting a photo bomb from K3? If I zoom out, we will. Yeah. So there's a little bit of runway inspection going on. K3 was driving on the runway. Hey Miss Wolves, good morning. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Pretty sure that this 737 will take off before the Dreamliner, but the Dreamliner is also holding short because K3 is still on the runway. Well, and as I said, it was on the runway, it has vacated. Lights are on. 737 to Fuerteventura will be taking off first. Flight 1605, 737-800, 10-year-old airplane, first flight February 2014. Affection, nice name for an airplane. Give us some affection. Holy cow, already spooling up. United Airlines flight 908 going to Chicago, 7878 Dreamliner. Man, that 737 barely took off and it is already spooling up. Now, this airplane is 10 years old. The first flight was in October 2013. Hey, K3 left the car. Oh, that was a little bit of toilet roll. Someone... a bit of plastic. Great show. Wouldn't want that enter into an engine. The engine will probably survive. What is that? Kestrel? Something else. Hard to see. Now what's interesting is that the sound is going to get louder after it has left the ground, shortly after it has left the ground. I noticed that the mic picked it up as well. I noticed it on the stream earlier, and now I also can say that this is also what I am actually hearing here. It's not an artifact from the mic. That was Delta Airlines Flight 73 going to Atlanta, Georgia, 19 years old, first flight March 2004. Now it seems we'll have to wait a little bit for our next airplane, but there are double triple time. Nice. 777-300 to Curacao coming this way. 777 freighter to Guangzhou also coming this way. China Southern Cargo. Yes, great. 777-300 to Sao Paulo also on the move. And that Chinese triple is now approaching the northern threshold of the center runway. So let me get my bearings in. I think I have it. Where exactly is the northern threshold of the center runway from this point of view? And I think we are standing almost directly in line with it, which I never knew, but there you go. If I recall correctly, also had a sound effect that would be appropriate for it. Like a shark fin sticking out above the waterline. There it goes. Yeah. Joel says duck hunting time. Not much to be hunting over here. Birds are further to the north. This is the closest by bird, and that is Chris Coot. Donald and Daisy are over there, angering God, showing him his bum, her bum, their bums. French fries truck does not seem to have arrived just yet. Somebody taking a piss. Don't take the piss, Boris. Police also around. Going onto the cycling path. A couple of folks over there on the cycling path, which is where I normally would be standing when this runway would be used for arrivals. And K3 all the way over there. Hey, thanks for the update, Aphrodite. Atlas Air Queen arriving on center in a couple of minutes. That is also well worth having a look at. Being preceded by a 737. Is Her Highness already visible? I think still in the clouds. It does begin to look brighter here. I'm not sure if the camera can convey it, or if it's the same dull grayness that it was in the beginning as well, but it looks definitely like the clouds are thinning a little bit, if ever so slightly. If only ever so slightly, I should say. Now, where is that? 7478 of Atlas Air. Not seeing it just yet. Still looking. Timing a bit unfortunate, coinciding with the lining up of the triple, which I think might be doing a turn and burn. Yes. Sorry, that is going to go ahead then first. To Curaçao, KLM flight 735, 777-300 Now it becomes visible, right of it. Jeffrey, goedemorgen. Rick, goedemorgen. Rick asks, do you go with the bike? Well, not over here to go live streaming, mate. Carry a lot of stuff with me, which is why I have a utility cart, boulder car. To carry all the stuff to and from my car. Right, so that was the 777-300 going to Willemstad, Curaçao. The 747 probably has landed already. There's our next airplane. And Rick, yes, of course I did park nearby. I did not walk all the way from the parking lot of the Spottersplatz itself. I parked right in front of here, just before the sign that says no parking, because there you're still allowed to park. So when standing over here, the distance is relatively short. It's a bigger walk when you have to go over the cycling path to the other location, because then you have to park at the parking place of the Spottersplatz itself. That is still 5 or 10 minutes of walking, at least on asphalt, which is better than towing your utility cart through the grass over here. It's a bit more uneven, a bit more heavy, but luckily the distance is way shorter. China Southern Cargo is up next. It is taxiing to the runway threshold. Little Embraer 175 in the distance, arriving what looks to be flying to runway 36 right. The destination of this airplane is Guangzhou. I hope I pronounced that somewhat properly. It's a 777 freighter, relatively new, a year old. First flight was in December of the year 2022. EasyJet A320 to Milan will be the little light snack in between what I initially thought was going to be a double triple. The 777 that is coming next will be taking off to Sao Paulo. Rick, I parked right a little bit back from the rotonde, het rondpuntje. The sign that says no parking is a little bit in front of it, and you can park right behind it. Basically in line with the other side of this fence that you see. So basically behind my car, basically parked behind the blue container on the gravel, right before the sign no parking is located. People living here in this street saw me pass by earlier when I parked further away, and they told me that you can park over there, that is allowed. And since I've parked over there each time I've been streaming here, never once did I get a fine or a warning or anything. So it's just that you have to stay clear of the rotonde, het rondpuntje itself. And especially don't park your car on the entrance to the bridge, the entrance to the runway area, because that is strictly forbidden. Hey, my pleasure, Rick, my pleasure. Going to Milan, Malpensa, I think, Malpensa, MXP, yeah, I think that's Malpensa. A320, EasyJet, flight 23585, 858. Now, I think the Embraer 190 to Toulouse is going to line up or not. Will the triple go first? I think the triple might go first. No, was wrong. Triple's lining up, but the Embraer 190 will be going first. To opposite of to win, Toulouse. Flight 1303. Embraer 190. Turn and burn. Let's go. Turn and burn logo not being used. Is that maybe a custom emoji that we can replace with something else? Just wondering. Let's see. Michael, are you still there? That is KLM flight 791 going to Sao Paulo. 777-300ER, the PHBVG, 11 years old, first flight May 2012. Alrighty. Tractor is forming a little bit of a traffic jam. Question is, what's the machine behind it? Question for the agricultural experts, what's the appendix, the trailer exactly? What is it? Interesting. A320neo time, flight 556 of SAS with destination Stockholm. Ready to go? 6 years old, first flight July 2017. Sprayer, thank you Roadhog. Little bit of pesticide, never hurt anyone, right? Alrighty, next up, going to Munich, CRJ 900, flight 2303, already spooling up. No time to waste. Also being set off by one of the bird controllers, not too far away from over here. So, 14-year-old CRJ off to Munich. There's the bird control vehicle, the culprit of the explosion you heard just now. Another one of Hans' favorite airplanes, Vueling. Also a massive big thank you to Mac G, who super chatted. Special greetings to Russell and Cheryl. Well, once I see them, I will give them your regards. They are missing a little bit today. Have been missing. Haven't seen them just yet. Let's do another inspection if we have the time for it then. Right, this is going to Florence, Firenze, another Airbus A319, this one. And indeed, Michael, 2 CRJs in one stream. We're not done yet with streaming, but that's the way it goes. Sometimes you see everything all at once, sometimes you don't. They are still flying to Amsterdam, that's for sure. We have now established that. Brian says, that's how you know it's spring in Vermont, the aroma of cow shit fills the air. Well, that also applies to this part of the Netherlands. You will, or at least it used to be back in the day. Now the regulations for fertilizing have become more strict. They used to air spray it and then it would smell like manure all over the area. These days it is more like injected into the ground, I think. More subtle. Well, this is Air Europa, obviously. No need to tell you that. It's a Dreamliner that is going to Madrid. Flight 1098. Really curious just how full this airplane is. 6 years old, first flight February 2018. Air Europa regularly flies the Dreamliner between Madrid and Amsterdam, so it must be reasonably filled. And Aphrodite is informing us that the A380 arrival from Dubai is exactly on the word Germany on flight radar. That is pretty much in the center, isn't it? Don't recall, I haven't memorized the flight radar map to such a detailed degree, but I think, or at least I deduce that logically speaking it will probably be somewhere in the middle of the country, the name. Anyway, going to Boston. This is the A321neo from JetBlue. 1 year old, first flight February 2023. Off to Boston, Massachusetts. Now talking about smells in the air. Yesterday I went for groceries on my bike to the village next to my place of residence, which is just a few kilometers away. And on that way lie some flower fields with hyacinths, and they are already blooming a little bit, so it really smelled lovely. I think today is also the first day that officially the Keukenhof Flower Garden is opening up. Already saw some cars on the car park. I always drive past the main entrance, so it's going to get busy again in the neighborhood. It was 2 months or so till mid-May, I believe, and then normalcy returns to the Bollenstreek, the flower strip. This is EasyJet flight 27925. On its way to Prague in the Czech Republic. This A319 is 16 years old. First flight was in February 2008. And indeed, Bosom King's Day is also approaching. April 27th. Although there are still sometimes tourists that come to Amsterdam dressed in orange on April 30th, which used to be Queen's Day. Ever since King Willem took over, that has changed. Now, April 27th. A319 outbound Manchester. A little bit of digital zoom. Going back to the top end of optical zoom. This is what you end up with. What you would end up with, I should say. Right, well, let's see. K3 right now over here. And what is in the pipeline? Narrow body, big body, wide body I should say, and a neo. Air Astana, outbound to Atirau. A321neo, flight 904 from Air Astana. The airplane is 4 years old. Its first flight was in August of the year 2019. KLM flight 1583 up next, going to Bologna. 10-year-old airplane, first flight January 2014. Right, let's see. Can we see it? Only barely. K3 now parked on the other side of that blocked building, striped building I should say. And this is Finnair going to Helsinki, flight 1302, A321. 6 years old, first flight December 2017. Behind it, a Dreamliner 787-10 going to Panama City. After that, a Delta A330-300 going to New York JFK, and an A321 from Speedbird coming this way with destination London Gatwick. Finnair to Helsinki, A321, flight 1302. Is Stephen or Sally doing a flyby? KLM flight 757 is pulling up to Panama City. The 787-10 Dreamliner is 3 years old, first flight August 2020. K3 sees that it is all good. Delta Airlines Flight 49 up next. Destination New York, JFK. A330-300. 20 years old, first flight March 2004. New York, New York. Some movement in the water there. Let's see. Good. Good, good. Good. Donald, Daisy, and... No? Donald and Donald. Scrooge McDuck also there. Is that Daisy? I don't know. Right, next up, BA Flight 2541, A321, going to London Gatwick. 19 years old, first flight October 2004. Next up is going to be a 777-300 going to Lima in Peru. KLM Flight 743, taxiing to the runway threshold at the moment. And also a very good morning to Brody, who celebrates 2 months of membership. He says, "Good morning, boy. I hope you have a good day." I definitely have a good day, albeit with a little bit of cold hands, but at least it is dry, which I did not thought it was going to be today in the beginning of the week. Now the weather for the next couple of days is dreadful. Rain all day expected, I think. We'll have to look and see, but really desperately needs to get a bit more summery over here. Right, so on its way to Lima, Peru, KLM flight 743. It is a 777-300ER. The BVK. 10 years old, first flight May 2013. Alright, so Embraer 175 is making its way over to the runway threshold. We have another trip, A330, going to Jerry's hometown, Portland, coming up. KLM flight 1445, destination Aberdeen, 7-year-old airplane, first flight January 2017. Alrighty, Mr. D.O. Nuts has changed the screen name to Nuts or Donuts. Which one is it? Donuts. Okay, center is now also being used for departures. I see, I hear. Was to be expected. Let me change that in the ticker. Might as well also have a look at the rest of the weather. Right, runway use. Always a bit behind the practice. Wind still west northwesterly. Variation of wind speed of wind direction has narrowed a little bit. The wind speed has increased a little bit from 6 to 7 knots, from 2 to 3 below 4 right now. Still not much to write home about. Ceiling hasn't changed, still 1100 feet, which means that the airplanes disappear into the clouds rather soon still. The air temperature also unchanged, 8 degrees Celsius. 8 times 2 equals 16. 16 and plus 30 equals 46. That's roughly the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Let me also paste that weather report into the ticker for you guys, so you can read it back whenever you want. Right, Delta Airlines, flight 179, going to Portland, Oregon. Nearly at the runway threshold. Delta Airlines flight 179. A330, 8 years old, first flight June 2015. Alrighty, let's see. Two 747s are on the move. They will take off from center most likely. Alrighty, Delta Airlines flight 179 going to Portland, Oregon, 8 years old, first flight June 2015. Let's go. Seems that Donald is wandering on his own. Coming this way. Switch to the right focus. There we go. Quack, quack. Where's Daisy? Where are Huey, Dewey, and Louie? Where is everybody? I do feel that the wind is picking up just a little bit. You can also see the chimney smoke now leaving the chimney diagonally. It's still not much, especially not with what we are used to over here, but a bit more of a light breeze. Taking off in a few moments is BA flight 8452, Embraer 190, destination London City. Registration GLCYV, 15 years old, first flight January 2009. Let's see those 747s. Where are they? Thought I saw them on the radar. Oh wait, Cargolux. Seems to have been pushed back. Alright. Ah, there's also a Norwegian coming this way with a grumpy face. Bjornstjerne Bjornson. But first, this BA Embraer 190 to London City. Norwegian is coming this way. Going to Stockholm, 737-800. Let's see, Air Canada is also coming this way. There's another Chinese triple going to Shanghai that looks like it is coming this way. China Southern Cargo, flight 496. And let's see. Whoa. Thought I saw a 747 on the platform, now no longer. It's always something with those 747s. What's that? More BA. They should make a special livery with a lot of gold chains. BA Baracus special livery for British Airways. Norwegian is going to the runway threshold, as you guys can see. Now Cargolux once again, for a moment visible on flight radar. Air France Embraer 170 to Lyon just took off. How quick will it disappear into the ceiling? Fact-finding mission there already. Yeah, that's rather soon. Small world we live in here in the Netherlands today with such a low ceiling. Started off at 1,000 foot and it has only increased to 1,100 feet and has stayed there. Norwegian Bjornstjerne Bjornson special livery going to Stockholm. A 14-year-old airplane. First flight September 2009. Hello there, mate. You're always so happy, those people depicted on the tails of those Norwegians. Hadi RDW, goedemiddag. How quickly will Norwegian disappear into the clouds? Won't be long. Huh. What do you know? Longer than I expected. BA going to London Heathrow, A319 up next, flight 431. 18-year-old airplane, first flight February 2006. Hadi Jitse, goedemiddag. Anne, goedemiddag. Arnoud, goedemiddag. Is there anything going on? Looking behind me, no cars on the runway. Croatian just took off from center, back to Zagreb. BA still holding short. No, lined up, but waiting, I should say. Thank you for the kind words, Roy. Not sure if I still qualify as a young man. Maybe if you are older than me, in your eyes I do, but there are people that say "u" to me already. Well, don't know what's the hold up. I'm looking to see if an inspection or something is going on behind me, behind my back, but there isn't. Is it having problems? Interesting development is that the Dreamliner is now looking to come this way. Something that you don't see very often. So I'm wondering if BA might be having some issues that they need to check, and the Canadians thought, well, we'll go ahead then. Yeah, the lights go on, so BA probably still checking stuff. Now, thumbnail potential. Dreamliner, looking at Dreamliner straight in the eye. Beautiful. Alright, don't know what it's all about, but here we go. This is Air Canada flight 809. Going to Toronto. 7878. Air Canada. Kan hij dat wel of kan hij dat niet? The 737 behind it is also lining up over here in the meantime. So BA seems to be having a problem that they are working on. Which is nice, because all the heavies that are now coming this way, including maybe even the Chinese triple, will then take off right in front of us. So BA, take it easy. You take your time, make a cup of tea, chill, relax, let everything take off right in front of us. This is KLM flight 1185, destination Bergen, 737-800, PHPGA, 15 years old, first flight March 2008. And I hope BA will continue troubleshooting for a few more minutes, because that 777 is getting closer. Should be visible somewhere in the background. Well, if you look behind the right engine, you can see it coming. The right engine of the 737. Is the triple now still moving? I think it is. Is it spooling up? Just going to taxi back off the runway. a moment I thought it spooled up ever so slightly, but apparently it isn't. Oh wait, now it is. Shit. That's a bummer. 747 is also taking off from center. Already in the clouds. Damn that low ceiling. But at least the A319 to London did not have any persisting problems by the looks of it. Sadly, that means that this triple is not taking off right in front of us, but from the threshold. China Southern Cargo 777 freighter going to Shanghai, if all is well. She's 8 years old, this one. First flight May 2015. Now, ladies and gentlemen, members, the next airplane after this one, get out your playtime emojis, dust it off. It is that time again, red alert. Listen how the engine noise gets louder as it turns towards us. That is exactly what I'm hearing with my own ears as well. Mike picks that up really well, particularly when it's nearly wind still. Our next airplane is going to go to Iceland. It's an A320neo from Play. Oh, and Aphrodite, thank you for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you on the next one. Question is, where is Play going to go to? The answer is the threshold. Wah, wah, wah. Pity. The airplane behind it is a 737-800 from KLM going to go to Dublin. Is that the Transavia one or the regular blue one? Looks blue. Okay. Next up after that, also going to Dublin, Ryanair, but that is a MAX 8. Isa says, how far can you zoom? Well, let's see how the pilot drinks their coffee. This is 400 times zooms. This is fully zoomed out. Now this camera can also go to 800 times digital zoom, and as you can see, 400 times digital zoom is already way too much. Distortion becomes too great. Dave, this is the new camera. The old one has exactly the same quality, so you wouldn't know the difference from the footage. But I did stick with the new one because the screen has a little bit more brightness, more maximum brightness. So it does show a little bit better outside. But I might, well, just go back to the old one. It's the same chip, sensor, everything is the same. Just a few more pixels in the screen. It can go a bit brighter, and the digital viewfinder, which I never use, also has a bit more pixels. That's the only difference between the two. KLM flight 935 to Dublin. Regular 737-800. But the old one did get fixed. It's working perfectly again. Of course, there's a mounting plate to connect the camera with the tripod that I had to take off the old camera. Now I would have to put it back onto the old camera from the new camera if I wanted to start using it again. So I figured, let's just stick with the XA60, keep the XA40 as a spare. But it has been repaired. It is working quiet and flawlessly again. In the end, looking at the bill, which I did not have to pay because it fell under warranty, but they did almost, it looks like they took out the entire zoom mechanism and just replaced it with a new one. Right, another airplane going to Dublin. This time it is a MAX 8. Ryanair, flight 421. Sings a little different tune than the previous airplane. Question to you guys. Did you guys, for those of you who have subscribed and have hit the notifications, enabled them, did you guys get notified of the upcoming live stream or not? Because I did hear several people lately over the last couple of weeks, they mentioned in the chat that they did not get notified. So I'm just wondering if that has been resolved yet. Michael gets them every time. Okay, cool. Well, not everybody. Liewe, for instance, repeatedly mentioned that he did not receive anything despite having enabled all the notifications. Okay, John as well. This is KLM flight 787, and obviously not a Boeing 787, but an Airbus A330-200. Going to that location where we all want to go to, particularly Dutchies with weather like this, Sint Maarten. Lois also got a notification. Isa as well. Ooh, was that dark azzurro? Yeah. Ita. Is this one going to Milan? Yeah. Going to Milan, flight 121. Regular A320 and in the clouds already. Stupid ceiling, stupid weather. Han did not get notified. Mark says no notification. Now switched it to everything. Looking forward, yeah, curious as well. Right, here she comes. Hey, the Kestrel. Air transportation for Mickey Mouse. Yeah, that is too far away. You only get to see moving pixels. Was worth a try. Brody, the airplane is going to Sint Maarten in the Caribbean Sea. Hey there, Aaron. And Isa did get the notification late. Live stream was already busy for 12 minutes, okay? Yeah, so there you see it. The YouTube randomness. Very annoying. Leo already mentioned last week that he tried to email YouTube a couple of times about it, but never got a response, so not sure if they even read it. Embraer 175 to Inverness. And a triple taking off from center. And scrolling to Nairobi, this one. A bit of wing fluff. Shortly before totally vanishing. And the weather is in that respect abysmal. See that the A380 has landed. This is KLM flight 929, outbound to Inverness. 6 years old, first flight June 2017. Off to Scotland. Hey JD, look who it is. Sneaking into the chat. Nice to see you, mate. Oh, that was a double click and then it flight radar went to the destination airport of the airplane that you are now seeing, which is Glasgow. KLM flight 1475, 737-800, PH-BXM, 23 years old, first flight November 2000. Indeed, the Emirates in the back has landed, undoubtedly on 36 right, the furthest removed from here. Heat waves everywhere. You might be inclined to think it is warm out here. I'm standing here with gloves on still. Not the heated ones, although it does come close to needing them. I always find it amazing to see those heat distortion waves so rapidly already when there's still relatively cool temperatures. There's the airplane to Glasgow, flight 1475 KLM 737-800. And the other ETA to Rome, A320neo. In the clouds, vanished into the clouds just now. There's only a very brief window of opportunity to see airplanes today. It's not the best day to do any spotting. There are still a few bigger birds coming this way by the looks of it. You can see a Transavia in the background taking off from center. This is a MAX 8 from TUI, which is also interestingly going to Glasgow. Very popular destination it seems like. Now, let's pan a little to the right. Should be two heavies visible. That's Airlines Flight 37 in the foreground, or at least the first one leading the two to Orlando, Florida, and then KLM Flight 667 going to Austin, Texas. Let's see. Then some smaller stuff. A320 to Southend. Alrighty, the TUI Max 8 is up next. So we can get a back-to-back comparison between the Airbus Neos, the A320 series Neos, and the Max 8s. So another airplane going to Glasgow in a moment. This airplane 2 years old, first flight June 2021. Right, Delta Airlines to Orlando. KLM Dreamliner to Austin, Texas. And behind this airplane is an E2 Embraer to Copenhagen and an Embraer 190 behind it to Edinburgh. Checking. There's also an A330 Neo to Boston from Delta that seems to have been pushed back. Right, so this is an A330-300 going to Orlando, Florida. Delta Airlines flight 37 flight. Let's see, 17-year-old airplane. First flight October 2006. Hey there, Rich. Good afternoon, mate. Castle is still looking for passengers to transport. And you can see low ceiling still. Has been all day, sadly. Right, in a moment, leaving for Austin, Texas is KLM flight 667. This is a Boeing 7879 Dreamliner, 6 years old. Its first flight was in August back in 2017. That's a bit overkill with the digital zoom. Things start to become a little bit too pixelated then. Okay, yeah, gear is up. Or is retracting, I should say. Right. And indeed, Firos, Iberia, going to Madrid from center, poof, into the clouds. Looking at flight radar, there are no airplanes immediately following these two that are currently at the threshold, lined up and holding short. So I think these are going to be the last two airplanes of the day. It's not the best weather to do live streaming today with such a low ceiling, and I think it is time to wrap up then. Hope for better weather. Hopefully all the weather predictions for tomorrow and the upcoming weekend are false, or at least if tomorrow it is going to rain, hopefully later in the day. Hopefully the morning is going to stay dry. I will have a look. This is KLM flight 1129 going to Copenhagen, E2 Embraer. You guys heard it, they are awfully quiet. First couple of times when I saw the E2 take off, I thought, when are you going to go to full thrust? But they already did. Manolis is asking about A380s. It has landed and is expected to take off again in just around 3 hours from now, normally speaking, back to Dubai. It has already landed over there. That's the only airplane the only A380 that visits Amsterdam Schiphol Airport these days. Probably around 3:30 local time or so, going back, maybe even earlier. Last airplane of the day, KLM flight 1281, going to Edinburgh, Embraer 190. The airplane is 8 years old. First flight was November 2015. Right. Very soon it will vanish into the clouds. The mere 1100 feet, but feet ceiling, making the world today around Schiphol very small. No contrails to be seen. No elaborate followings of airplanes from the center runway. Also seems to coincide with a runway inspection, so no traffic to Polderbaan in the upcoming minutes regardless, because of the bird inspection, runway inspection. So yeah, it's time to wrap up. Hopefully tomorrow or later in the weekend there is another opportunity to go live. I don't know for sure yet. I will have to watch the weather and the weather forecasts and the rain radar carefully. We'll only be able to tell shortly beforehand when I am going to go live, so keep a lookout for that. For now, thank you all so much for joining me here today. I had a wonderful day here still, despite the low visibility, and I hope you guys did too. I hope to see you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for your super chats and super stickers and the memberships and gifted memberships, etc, etc. Moderators, thank you so much for once again keeping the chat friendly and accessible. Be well, hope to see you on the next one, and bye for now.